Math Lesson 13, Overhead or Fixed Costs. We have learned about profit and costs. So basically, if someone makes money, let's say you have a business and someone buys from you, they give you that money, that's your profit, or some money that you've gotten. And that seems like an easy thing. But then there's costs such as you needed to buy something. Now today, we are looking at overhead, something like electricity, or there's some other things in here. Heating. That's something we normally don't think about. If you need to make a phone call, let's say to the United States, that normally costs extra money instead of just making a phone call and it's free, besides the amount of money it costs for your plan. So that's what we call overhead costs, and those are normally things that are not counted into the amount of costs that it takes. When I take photos for others, I normally think, okay, I charge $400 for a session. Perfect. That is how much I made. That's my profit, but not actually. A while back, I was always shooting with this lens right here, this one. And suddenly it broke. And then what shall I now shoot with? So then I took and I bought this thing. Great. But now, when I make pictures, it doesn't necessarily mean that I just get all that money that I get from those people, I get that into my savings account. I now have to pay for this guy, this long lens. And it's likely more expensive than just one photo shoot. So the next 2 or 3 photo shoots that I did, all that money went into paying for this thing. And then I became dissatisfied with this lens, not entirely. Then I went to buying this little guy, and this guy costs some money too. And then I have to pay for this one as well. So that's where we have to understand that overhead costs is something that we normally don't think we are paying for, but we're actually paying for them. And our profit gets less and less. So basically, I'll write our formula onto the board. It is our selling price, how much we sell something for. I'll just write selling minus the regular costs plus the overhead equals our profit. So if you sell an object, let's say you're selling tables and chairs, you're a carpenter. You're selling your table for $50. Not 50, that's not reasonable. 100. And then our regular costs are, let's say we used $50 of wood for our table. This could be a smaller table. And now, add it all together, our electricity, our heating, because we're doing this during the winter, and you needed to make those phone calls to your customer. So let's say all those things cost $7. Now, how much did you actually make? Your $100, he gave you your $100, but that's not actually all profit, something you're making. So 57, so you have to take 100 minus 57, which would equal, now what is it? 57. You now made $43. You did not make 100, you made 43. Basically, this way, This is something you need to take into account. The $7 is because otherwise, if you just barely make enough, suddenly you'll notice, why am I not actually making money? It's because we forget to count in the electricity, the phone bills, the heating, and all that kind of stuff. So in number 1, the sales is the selling price is $67. The cost and the overhead together are $53 or $55. Go ahead and subtract those two, and you have only actually made how many dollars? Go ahead and do that on your own. So this entire new part, all of the number 1 to 6 is all the same. Go ahead and do that on your own, and if you need help, let me know.